Hey, what's going on everyone? I am Ridho, and today you're watching Crucible 101, where I teach you to become better at PvP in Destiny. In this episode, I'm going to cover a very wide topic. That is, I will give you some tips to win gunfights and stay alive. There's a lot of things that play a role here, such as using cover, grenades, supers and special weapons. My goal is for you to be more aware of the tools that are available and the dangers that you may face. I want to start off by saying that staying alive does not mean that you have to play passively. Myself, I prefer a very aggressive and agile playstyle. However, you will always have to put thought behind your actions and think 2 steps ahead. Did you see those kills? Let's check that part again. When I blinked up that wall, I knew there would be a pillar to my left that would cover just enough to block off the enemy's line of sight. I then threw an arc bolt grenade on C, doing 122 damage to everyone in the area. This means that my last word can now kill with 1 headshot or 2 body shots. This gives me the confidence to engage all enemies, and so I get a double kill. Right here I made a mistake. Since the enemy jumped past me towards my teammate, I thought I could shoot him from behind. However, in order to get a line of sight, I walk within shotgun range, and since my teammate was already dead, I have no chance of survival. Special weapons like shotguns or sniper rifles are unmatched in very specific situations. Shotguns are even overpowered in close range due to their range. However, there are special weapons for a reason, namely, they lack versatility. So I don't think it's wise to run around with a shotgun or any special weapon for an entire match. You will simply get outgunned in too many situations. Use them as an element of surprise, and the enemy will die before they have a chance to react. Right here, I didn't know where the danger was coming from. In such a situation, I prefer to simply jump away to a safer spot. Take a moment to reload, regen some health, and relocate the enemy. After that, you can go back in the fight with a much better chance to survive. In this stage of the game, the time to kill is very short, so you will want to stay away from fights in which you have any kind of disadvantage, and try to choose your encounters in such a way that you always have the advantage. Try to attack from above, try to throw a grenade before you attack, or simply get behind cover when you just got hit by a bullet or a grenade. It's the small things that make a big difference. Next up is the radar. It works different than in most shooters, but if you know how to use it, it's one of the key elements that can keep you alive. Most importantly, it's very hard to hide from it, but this obviously works both ways. Only by crouching or going invisible, you can trick the enemy by disappearing from the radar, and even then, it's very limited in time and value. In general, you may assume that the radar gives you sufficient information on the location of the enemy. A lot of you will probably know this, but still I'll give a full explanation of the radar. First of all, it provides you the direction the enemy is at compared to your location. Then, you can also say something about the distance from your location, which can roughly be divided in 3 different ranges: mid to long range, close to mid range, and very close range, which is basically directly next to you. Now, something less known is that the color also tells you something about the height level of your enemy. If the radar is bright red, the enemy is on the same level as you are. If it is a darker red, he is either above or below you. Altogether, you can easily track your enemies and anticipate on their movement, which is extremely important, so don't forget to check your radar every few seconds. Next on the list are supers, and in particular when to use them and when not to use them. Too often do I see supers used immediately when seeing an enemy, especially the infamous Fist of Panic. Even though this can save your life, in the end it's unlikely that this yields the highest value. This is such a shame, since a well-timed super can completely change the momentum of a game. Sometimes it's just better to accept a death. You should see your supers as investments, and you want the highest return on your investment. Hold on to them for long enough so you don't miss out on big opportunities. But don't hold on to them for too long, as opportunities pass by. In my opinion, there are 3 key moments to use a super. First of all, when the enemy is capping a flag, because often, if the enemy is taking control of a flag, they're not by themselves, and you have a good opportunity to kill multiple enemies. Secondly, when you see a group of enemies together and you can safely activate your super. In those cases, don't doubt, just go for it. And lastly, when heavy ammo is inbound. This has a high risk, but also a very high reward. A lot of enemies will be bunched together. Often they're not even paying attention to what's around them, since they're focused on getting the heavy ammo. This grants you a golden opportunity to deal a massive blow and prevent the enemy from getting heavy ammo. However, if you don't time it correctly, you will get demolished as many enemies will be firing at you, especially if they already got their heavy. Now if you see an enemy coming at you with a super, only use yours if there's a lot of teammates around you and you're fairly confident that you can take out the enemy and prevent your allies from dying. If you're all by yourself, don't waste your super. Just do whatever you can to survive without it, or die trying. Also, don't use your super when heavy ammo just got picked up by the enemy. The time to kill with heavy weapons is simply too short, so it becomes too risky. So again, your super is an investment. Always try to get the highest return on your investment. Now, I would like to talk some more about movements. When to push, when to wait, and when to run. Although it's partly based on intuition, there are a few things you can keep in mind which help you decide what to do. Right here, I'm on full health, and I see an enemy at C. My teammate is already engaging, so the enemy will be focused on him and might also be taking hits. This is a good situation to push forward as quickly as possible, since a 2v1 situation is easy to win. Unfortunately, my teammate dies, and now the enemy is on the run, since he probably has taken quite some damage. He blinked behind this wall, and the reason I don't push immediately is because he might lure me into a trap and wait for me with a shotgun or pre-charged fusion rifle. I try to engage from above, but I can't get good shots on him. As he runs, I push forward from the side, since he won't be looking at that area. Now I know that he is facing me, so I cautiously move forward, because I want to be able to jump back into cover. Unfortunately, by the time I realize he has used his super, it's already too late to run, which is what I usually recommend. So this time I get taken out. As you can see, an enemy jumps right next to me. In such a situation, you can do two things. Attack him straight away, or first create some distance. I wasn't sure whether or not he had a shotgun, and since I can confuse him by blinking away, I decide to create that extra space, which in this case grants me an easy kill. Next up, heavy ammo is inbound. I don't jump in there straight away, since I want to keep some overview and prevent the enemy from killing my entire team with a super. Now that it's safe, I pick up the ammo. However, I don't immediately rush towards the enemy. I just hang back for a moment and cover an area while staying in good cover. The reason I do this is because I want to wait until the initial chaos is over and most enemies have lost their heavy ammo. This way, it's a lot safer to attack and get the most out of my heavy ammo. Before I push forward, I first capture B, as there is no one around. Controlling two flags is not only important for the points you get, but also for having good map control. It results in much more predictable enemy spawn points, which makes it a lot easier to control the action, as you can focus on one specific area. Now you can see that my patience pays off, as I can easily take out a couple of enemies with my rocket launcher. I could capture A as well, but this is not what I want, since that will flip the spawns and open up the other side of the map for the enemy. At this point, due to the map control, the enemy is driven into a corner. For them, it's very hard to win gunfights, as they don't have a lot of space to move around, so they don't have many options as to picking their engagements. It is in these moments that you want to kill as many enemies as possible. This will build up your super, which will help you to keep the momentum once the spawns flip. Momentum is a difficult thing to define. It's not something you can see directly, but you can definitely feel it. You may feel that you are being overrun. You may feel that you are dominating the enemy. Or you notice that it is balanced and everyone is pushing and pulling to get that momentum in their favor. If the momentum is in your favor, it makes you play more comfortable. You feel stronger, as if your bullets do more damage. While this obviously isn't true, I will try to explain how I look at it and how I use it to my advantage. Say the enemy has the momentum, they're playing better and you keep dying time after time. Of course this results in them getting their supers faster and they can trap you in their spawn. Now what should you do to flip the momentum? First of all, keep calm. Try not to get frustrated, as this will have a direct negative effect on your gameplay. Also, you will probably not want to rush right at them. Don't pretend you can simply kill them all and regain map control. What you need is patience. There are two things I can advise you to do. The first is try to sneak around them. Not to flank them straight away, but to flip the spawns. If you're stuck at C, try capturing A. This will completely open up the map and you will get some more breathing space. However, this may not be the easiest thing to do. Another thing you can do is play passively. Hang back near your spawn, find a good area to patrol or some good cover to protect yourself, and try to defend your team from enemies that are pushing forward. A sniper may come in handy here, as you want to keep a large distance from your enemy, while still being able to take them out as they move in. Eventually, you will get your super, or some heavy ammo. This is your chance to completely flip the momentum in your favor, so don't waste it. Be patient, and when you feel you can catch the enemy off guard, strike as hard as you can. The final thing I want to discuss is accuracy. In the end, a lot of gunfights will be decided by who is the most accurate player. In most games, it's best to aim at the chest, but in Destiny, you will really need to get those precision kills. Therefore, you should always aim for the head. If you're new to shooters, this may be difficult, but practice makes perfect. Try using many different weapons to get comfortable with all kinds of different recoil. To train yourself, you could play Rumble and purely focus on getting precision shots. You have to feel how your sights bounce up and down. You should instinctively aim for the enemy's head and know how to control your weapon. Give yourself some time and see how your accuracy improves over time. Now to wrap things up, I'll quickly go over everything I discussed. Always think 2 steps ahead. Make use of the cover of the map. Only use your special weapon in specific situations. Choose your encounters so that you always have the advantage. Often check your radar to track enemies. Use your supers wisely. Know when to push forward, when to wait, and when to run. Make the most out of your heavy ammo. Use the momentum in your favor and always aim for the head. Apply these tips. Practice until you instinctively know what to do, and you will eventually become legend in the Crucible. Remember guys, you can die anytime. It's living that takes true courage. And this is going to be the end of the commentary. I hope you learned something useful, and I hope you all enjoyed the video. Thank you all for watching. I am Ridho, and I wish you all a very good day.